Okay, here are my thoughts on Saludos Amigos. This was a 1943 Disney movie. It is the first of six package films that they released while being a little poverty-stricken, I guess, by studio standards. But I mean, technically it wasn't their first package film. Before this, they had Fantasia kind of counts as a package film, but that still felt like a complete experience. And there was also The Reluctant Dragon, which I didn't review because it's mostly live action. It doesn't really count. My general rules are if it's a Disney. If it's one of the part of the Disney canon, then it's an actual. Then I count it for my series, and technically that's the only reason why I'm even reviewing this. There's not a whole lot to talk about regarding this movie. It's kind of it's kind of just a bunch of little cartoons that all happen to take place in South America. There's some little documentary footage of Disney and his animation crew kind of vacationing there. It shows them coming up with a bunch of little cartoon ideas, which were probably already planned out before they even went. I guess the cartoons were all fine. Let me see. The first one is about Donald, let me see. Forgive me if I can't remember where all of these cartoons take place. Like, they all take place in, like, different parts of South America, but Donald's exploring, I think it might have been Chile. I forget, but it was like a native. I'm not very well educated with South America. I'm sorry, but he's exploring the rather not super civilized. Okay, that's not a very respectful word to use. He's exploring this little native village, and he gets a hold of this llama, and then he plays this flute to kind of order it around, and then they cross a bridge, and then kind of by Donald's stupidity, they kind of break the bridge, and then I don't know, a bunch of cartoony shenanigans, and then Donald falls, and then he survives. He just happens to land in a little. He lands on a building on a. Oh man, I really need to. This is why I don't do vlogs that often. He lands safely. And I guess that's about the end of the cartoon. It was amusing. There were some funny bits. Then there was a cartoon about a plane delivering mail. It's kind of a typical cartoon you'd see about like an anthropomorphic object. Technically, this could have taken place anywhere. It just happens to take place in whatever country. This is supposed to be in South America. The plane delivers mail, and has to fight this storm around this big dangerous mountain and stuff. It was cute, I guess. Then we have a cartoon about Goofy. It was probably the best bit. It had the most laughs. There were some. It was your typical Goofy one of those little lecture cartoons with Goofy in them. Those are always funny. And yeah, this was no exception. And then finally there was like a little cartoon about Donald meeting Jose Carioca. He's kind of a bit of a stereotype of South Americans. It was probably the weakest of the cartoons, but it had some very creative animation in it. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about this movie. It's a basic set of cartoons, and they were all fine. I just don't think they were amazing or anything. So I definitely say this is the weakest of Disney's movies so far. But it wasn't bad. I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10. That would mean average. Maybe I'll go into a little more detail if I decide to do a proper Mashit review of it, but otherwise, yeah, this was okay. So yeah, that's about all I have to say. Mash it and smash it, signing off.